malaria. And when you talk about the diseases in Kenya, actually clean water kills more people than AIDS or malaria together. So the husband, dirty water. Well, dirty water. So the thing is, like cholera and dysentery, amoebas, and those little typhoid are things that are on the top 5 list of diseases in Kenya, which just shocks me. So we had a good friend of ours with this last year in Kenya, and it's hard to express to Americans dirty water. Because how many of y'all brushed your teeth this morning? And when you brush your teeth, you probably walked maybe 10 feet to that sink, and you were able to put that toothbrush underneath the water, and you didn't even have to think about it. And so Bill and I keep trying to, how do we talk about dirty water? And a Kenyan that was with us last year stood in front of a group, and he goes, I tell you, my friends, in his Kenyan accent, he goes, the water in your toilet bowls is cleaner than the water most of my villagers drink every day. And you heard an audible gasp, and it was like, yeah, that pretty much communicated the water situation over there. So we just were so blessed when we got to know Holly. And, y'all, Holly is, the folks who know her very well, she is just radiating a piece of sunshine light as she walks around, and she's that way in Kenya, and it was just a privilege to get to know her. And if anyone wants to go to see Kenya, go love her. It will change your life. Anyway, I'm going to quit blabbering. My name is Chat for a reason, and Bill will talk about it.
But I would say this, one of Holly's passions is to change that area, Kabondo, in Kenya. And she came to us saying, how do we do this? Well, how we do this is get all of you involved, and for you to get your friends involved, because it really is not that difficult. It's about 3,000 households that she's trying to impact. We were able to do a project very similar to this earlier this year, where we completely changed the whole village. Because of clean water. Yeah, they have better health. We understood that. But what happened beyond just the good health was this village, they have 2 clinics there. And one of the clinics donated all of their medicines for amoebas because they were going to expire because no one in the village was coming back to them. One of the other clinic complained to the chief of the area that their business has all gone away. What a great thing. Praise God that people weren't having to go to the hospital. There's an older gentleman that told us that he was able to send his child to university because his family was healthy now and they weren't having to spend money on doctors and medicines. It has empowered this community, and I know that Holly's passion for Kabondo is the same. Let me show you quickly the filter. Our normal setup is a little different than this. It's usually a 5-gallon bucket that's underneath here, but I want you guys to kind of see what's coming through. I wish it was crystal clear. But simply it's a filter that is attached to a 5-gallon bucket. This is the filter here. I've got a clear one for those that are the science type geeks that want to understand what's inside of it. I'll let you know about that in a second. But simply there's 2 buckets, one on the upper part that will hold the dirty water, the one on the lower side will receive the dirty water or the clean water, and a dispenser so that they can actually access it. So let me just kind of start that and I'll continue to do that. Hopefully you'll be able to see some water coming through in a second, and someone will have to drink this. You know, that's a hard thing to do because here all the water is clean, so I actually took ashes out of Holly's fireplace. It looks similar to this, the water that we would find. I need more water to put in here. You can see a little bit, the more water that's in here, the faster it will go. So right now we only have just a little bit. The flow rate when it's full is about 1 liter a minute. It takes out all of the bacteria that's causing typhoid, cholera, and dysentery. As my wife said, those are the top killers, disease killers in the world, not just Kenya. And so what happens is this is the filter, and there are little tiny threads in this filter. These threads are a hollow fiber membrane, which is a technical term for a very small soaker hose that you can use in your garden. You can imagine a soaker hose in your garden This is a very small version of it. And the holes in that soaker hose are 0.1 micron in size, which means that it's very small. That's a technical term. But so the dirty water is surrounding these tubes, these soaker hoses, and only the clean water is able to go through the pores. And then on the ends of the soaker hose, the clean water is coming out. And then when it gets clogged, because it will get clogged, we reverse the flow. It's been going this way. We'll have a syringe full of clean water, and then we will send that clean water through the opposite way, and that will clean it. It's real simple, and it's easily distributed throughout the world. We're new in this segment. My wife and I have been missionaries in Kenya for 7 years, and we realized that water was probably the most impactful thing that we could do to share the gospel in a real way. Because people that are dying and being sick because of diseases don't really want to hear the gospel. They want to know what we can do for them. And so we have come alongside people, sharing them with clean water, giving them clean water. And in the midst of that, we've been able to show the love of Christ in that. But one quick story during a distribution that we were doing earlier this year. The coolest thing for me is that before the distribution, the chief wanted to pray or have someone in the crowd to pray. And there was probably 500 or 600 people in the crowd. About a third of them were Muslim. We all prayed together. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, where people came together because we're all human beings. We all need clean water. And I think that things like this will bring more peace to this world than anything that we can do. And so this is our filter. It will last about 10 years. We can distribute in Kibando about $40 per household. So one filter per household. That way everyone in the village is able to have clean water. We want to use what they have. They have water. We're not having to drill a well. They have water, but it's killing them. Because whatever happens upstream, whether it's that little boy going to the bathroom or what I don't have to explain that part. Whatever happens upstream comes downstream. And that's what's going on in the world, is whatever's happening upstream, that's what they're getting. And so our hope and prayer is that Holly's vision for these people will be manifested through your generosity, through your prayers, through sharing this with others, because I think it's very attainable. And lives will be changed forever. It's not something that will just happen. Like I said, it's a 10-year filter, but I think it'll last longer than that. Not the filter itself, but the impact that we'll have created. The reason that we did our filter in this year, we've asked them, so when your filter expires, when it's finished, what will you do? And they go, well, we'll buy another one. It's changed their perception on how important health is and for their families and their children and for themselves. And so it's really incredible to see the difference between the two. And so that's the difference right there. We go throughout Kenya and do this demonstration, but normally we put feces in the upper bucket just to prove to people. I couldn't. It's frozen out there, people. It's covered up. I couldn't find any, and so I didn't put it in there. But it's amazing the transformation that people see when you're able to take water that is completely contaminated and will kill people. And especially as we are considered what are we called in Kenya? What am I called in Kenya?
Pardon?
A Mzungu.
Oh, Mzungu.
Yeah, we're all Wazungu. Not crazy. That's Wazimu. We're white people, or we're foreigners. And for a foreigner to be there and to pick the water and to drink it, they're aghast. Especially when there's been plenty of bacteria and stuff. This is not going to kill people if you I am thirsty.